Hello, students, and welcome to the Foundations of Integrated Marketing, or AC111. Since everyone's going to be fairly new to this class, let me please allow me to introduce myself once again. I'm Professor George Coppola. I've been doing this for quite some time, as I mentioned before, over 30 years in marketing and advertising, but also teaching at FIT since 2018. And I want to quickly go through this class. Kind of give you a quick little overview on what's going on here. As I mentioned before, over 30 years of experience. I've been adjunct since 2018. And one of the benefits I believe that I deliver to you all is that I not only live it, but I also teach it too. So I am well aware I am very much hands-on keyboard and doing this on a day-to-day basis even today. So I am very much in the mix of it as well. So while I will give you some history on what's happening, these foundational pillars that we will be building on this semester, I believe would be very helpful for you in your marketing career and everything else going forward. So, as we go through this week, it's an asynchronous class. So, as I mentioned during the syllabus, this will be a week-long session for each week in that respect. And with that being said, so right now we're looking at weeks 1 to 7, foundational strategy. Week 8 being the midterm, 9 to 13, industry and career. And then weeks 14, 15, really writing up those papers and everything else and wrapping up the semester. I know we were talking about wrapping up the semester, but give you a quick little lowdown into that. Since we're meeting asynchronous, we will be using the not the message boards, but the discussion post on a weekly basis. One being on the odd weeks, which would be this week as well. The odd weeks will be to have the post up there, and then the even weeks will be replying to the post. So as I mentioned here before, it's really student-led. I will give a topic, and you all will be doing that as well. As I mentioned before, the midterm. Week 8, and then the readings activities be posting at the start of each week. So, where are we going with this? To initiate a thinking process of marketing communications is how do we integrate everything? How do we communicate and make it a foundational operating mix? Like everything else, we have to make sure everything's pulling in the right direction and pointing in the right direction as well, because we are spending time, we are spending money, and spending resources that are limited. So we want to make sure when we're doing this communication-wise that we're all saying the same thing, have the same value proposition, and also bringing up the same points along the way. So for today, we're going to be looking at what is marketing communications, the marketing mix in there, how you define it, some key players, a brief history, and then some trends that are reshaping integrated marketing communications today. So, what are marketing communications? It's really the set of tools that brands or advertisers use to give information, to persuade, and also remind consumers, either directly or indirectly, about products of brands that sell. So, typically, advertising, sales, PR, digital, or personal selling. Think of, even when you wear a Nike t-shirt or an Adidas, or you're wearing a brand name, something with the logo on it. That is indirect selling. That's reminding people of the brand and saying how cool it is, or they may want to get a part of it too. Like if Nike never, spent another dollar this year, you would not forget what Nike is. But you may not know what new Nike products are out there. So that's why it's a reminder to ensure that they're getting the messaging out there and helping to push that along. So that's why it's important to keep top of mind, but also be top of consideration set too. So the 4 Ps are something that we use quite frequently in the marketing mix. The product, price, place, promotion. The 4 Ps, as we all know it. Product is what it is. The price is how much they're willing to pay for it. Place, where can it be purchased, and the promotion, how we communicate that the values for this. That's really going to be focusing on this semester. So there's going to be many different variations on this chart, but it really is how all the 4 P's really work together. I mentioned it's really about building that puzzle and kind of making sure all the puzzle pieces fit out there too. So in defining this, it's really practice of making sure all the tools are working together. That advertising, sales, PR, online, social, all these are intertwined together to ensure that they're delivering the right message. It's not just more messaging. It's having the one message kind of go through everything. Consistency is key when it comes to that. So as Donna Miller here says, if you can't explain what you do in a way that makes people immediately lean in, you're losing business. I cannot, I don't have to tell you how quickly we lose interest in a lot of things quickly today. I'm sure I try to keep these videos in under 10 minutes if possible, because I know it's very difficult to focus in. Hell, if I could do it in 45 seconds, even that feels like a long time sometimes. But from a contextual standpoint, I want to be able to get my message through and tell the story, understand why it's important, how we help build these things up out there. So these are all part of the different components out there, from advertising, social media, partnership, communication, sales, direct marketing. It all fits together when you're building that thing. So you think of your social media profile has to tie into your website, to your YouTube channel, to your newsletters, to your emails, to your keywords. All these things are all interconnected, and you want to make sure the brand is helping to build everything in a proper way, being from a small brand or a bigger brand. It's making sure that you have the same set of rules and you're applying the same principles overall. So there are tools that are available now, automation process for sure, customer relations, CRM, content management solutions, obviously social media management, PR software platforms. There are a lot of things that help you build these tools out there as well. So it's not just you have to do everything manually, it's all these different tools, but you have to make sure these tools are able to talk to each other or able to import the data together with that, and making sure that these tools are calibrated properly and having the same information being fed into it on a day-to-day basis. You see how quickly and how many more layers there are to everything out there. So you want to make sure that everyone is saying the same thing at the right time in the right way. So why does it really matter? So we have silos versus synergy. A silo is basically when everyone's kind of working. So if you only work in social media, I'm only focused on social media or search or display, whatever the case may be. But if you're only focusing on that one thing, which may be your specialty, don't get me wrong, it's really only looking at one part of the puzzle. So each plan and messaging independently, a consistent tone, look, and feel, and really just wasting time and money with that. With integration, you have one strategy and positioning drive for every channel. Consistent voice build recognition overall, and channels being reinforced each other instead of competing with each other. Helping to complement each other is key with that. So, quick little timeline here. Normally, you go through, review a marketing plan, analyze the situation, understand what the communication goals are, set budgets and objectives, and then develop and execute and evaluate the immediate plan. We'll look into all these out there next couple of weeks, but this is really basically a five-point view into what really happens on the marketing and media perspectives. So, and here's some of the people that I will be talking about. If you're in marketing, you know a client who owns the brand and the budget. Agency is normally someone who works at an ad agency or consultant that helps develop these media plans or content for that matter. Media is basically anything you can advertise on, be it from a paid end like Meta, TikTok, Google, or Spotify, anything like that. Those are really the media partners. The consumer, who's actually going to be listening to these things or watching these things or consuming the said content. That's the key where we want to reach into. And then some of the benefits that we kind of laid out already: cost efficiency, consistency, enhancing your brand exposure overall, because you're not saying one thing in one place and another thing in one place. You're making sure your brand is consistent, has the same voice, same tone, same feel, and people already know what your messaging is before you even start talking about it. That is key when it comes to it. That's what we want to develop and hopefully get to, help build that up too. So, this is a quick little, brief little history. This has been going on for a very long time. It's the early 1900s, from the birth to the creative revolution, to cable really changing everything and being more marketing and database. Then, of course, the 2000s to today, digital, social, and data-driven personalization out there. We all have access to the same apps, but all of our experiences are very different. Even though we do share some quote-unquote viral or see the same content out there, potentially, there are a lot of different things out there. So your algorithm is very different than my algorithm, even though we share the same apps. So that's how it's really becoming a personalization of content versus us pushing out content out there. So, needless to say, here are some of the trends that are happening right now. Obviously, mobile first. It's really key when it comes to integrated marketing. Like I mentioned before, data and personalization. How do we target messages to adapt to individual behavior? Social and creative content. That's bigger than ever before, and it continues to get bigger. Now it's kind of going more towards the macro content creators, the smaller creators, but it still needs to be addressed. And of course, channel convergence. All the paid, owned, and earned channels are really being planned in one system. So how do we help develop that? And social media has really helped build that together. So for this week, think of a brand with advertising, in-store experience, packing, social presence, all feel like the same idea. That's not by accident. That's by design. The product, every channel is being done with that. I want you to look for something like that. I want you to share that and notice which brand feel integrated to you or which feels scattered with that. Like, for example, Nike's Just Do It campaign or the Red Bull's content marketing strategy. Those are things that are very synergistic with that. So for this week, 1 week, I want you to bring an example of the set post to that. So please read the syllabus. Complete these signed readings, as I have there before. Post your introductory post, including one brand you consider well integrated. And then by next week, please reply to at least 2 classmates after that. Here's a quick little glossary into what we talked about this week. So now you have a quick little intro. Next week we'll be going through advertising promotion landscape, and then the first discussions post will be due as well, and then the responses will be done after that. Okay, that's all for this week. I'll speak to you all soon. Thank you.